Radha Kanta Namostude, Tapta Kanchana Gaurange, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanuste Devi, Pranamami Haripriye, Vancha Kalpadrupyascha, Kripasindhu Vyevicha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Kadadara, Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskritya, Naram Chaiva Narottamam, Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Dire, Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should offer respect to all businesses, unto the personality of God at Narayana, unto Narayana, its supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, goddess of learning, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, by regular attendance in classes and the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotees. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of God, who is placed with the transcendental songs, is established as a universal fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yonta Pravishya Mamacha Imam Sarupta Sanjeevayati Akila Shakti Darasvatamna Anyam Sahasya Charana Shravanatvagadi Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Tasmadagam Vikita Viklava Ishwarasya Sarvatmana Mai Ginami Tamanisham Nicho Jaya Gunavisarga Anupravishta Uye Tigena Hituman Anubanditena Namo Vishnubhadaya Krishna Vashaya Budaleshim Mahavishnu Gotsamti Namo Vishnubhadaya Krishna Vashaya Budaleshim Divakuri Namaste Saraswati Devara Chandra Vishekha Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Adigam Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Shri Krishna Arpanastu Hare Krishna. We are reading from second canto, 10th chapter, 6th verse. Nirodho asya anusayanam atmana saha shaktibhihi muktir itva anyata rupam swarupena vivastitihi. Nirodha asya anusayanam asya anusayanam atmana saha shaktibhihi muktir itva anyata rupam Swarupena Vivastitihi. Nirodha, the winding of the cosmic manifestation. Asya, of his Anusayanam, lying down the Pusha incarnation Mahavishnu, the mystic slumber. Atmanaha, the living entities. Saha, along with Sakti, with the energies. Muktihi, liberation. Itva, giving up. Anyata, otherwise. Rupam, form. Swarupena, in constitution, form. Vivastitihi, permanent situation. Translation and purport by Divine Grace. Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The merging of the living entity, along with the constitutional, along with this conditional living tendency, with the mystic lying down of the Mahavishnu, is called the winding up of the cosmic manifestation. Liberation is the permanent situation of the form of the living entity, and after he gives up the changeable, gross, and subtle material bodies. As we have discussed several times, there are two types of living entities. Most of them are ever liberated or Nitya Muktas, while some of them are ever conditioned. The ever conditioned souls are apt to develop a mentality of lording over material nature, and therefore the material cosmic nature is created to manifest to give the ever conditioned souls two kinds of facilities. One facility is that the conditioned soul can act according to its tendency to lord it over the cosmic. Another facility gives the conditioned soul a chance to come back to Godhead. So after the winding up of the cosmic manifestation, most of the conditioned souls merge into the existence in the Mahavishnu, personality of Godhead, lying in his mystic slumber to be created again in the next creation. But some of the conditioned souls will follow the transcendental sound in the form of Vedic literature and thus able to go back to Godhead, attain spiritual and original bodies after quitting the conditional gross subtle material bodies. The material conditioned bodies develop out of living entities' forgetfulness of the relationship with Godhead. And during the course of cosmic manifestation, conditioned souls are given a chance to revive the original status of life with the help of revealed scriptures, so mercifully compiled by the Lord in his different incarnation. Reading or hearing of such a land under literature helps one become liberated. One second. One becomes liberated, even the conditional state of material existence. All the Vedic literatures aim at devotional service to the personality of God. As soon as one is fixed upon this point, he at once becomes liberated from the conditional life, the material gross and subtle forms, or simply due to the conditioned soul's ignorance. As soon as he is fixed in the devotional service to the Lord, he becomes eligible to be freed from the conditioned state. This devotion service is transcendental attraction for the Supreme on account of his being the source of all pleasing humors. Everyone is after some pleasure of humor for enjoyment, but does not know the supreme source of attraction. The Vedic hymns inform everyone about the supreme source of all pleasure. The unlimited fountain of all pleasure is the personality of God. Anyone who is fortunate enough to get this information through transcendental literature like Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam becomes permanently liberated to occupy his proper place in the kingdom of Godhead. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So, this chapter is based on, actually, a second canto, 8th chapter is very important, where Parikshit Maharaj is asking a lot of relevant questions by Parikshit. He asks a lot of questions. And in fact, he asks, what is this Sarga? What is Visarga? How the Krishna creates? How the Lord appears as Mahavishnu? All these details he's asking. Actually, he's asking it. And he's also asking about the Virata Rupa of the Lord. And he wants to know how the Lord creates this material world, how the subcreation happens by Lord Brahma, all the Visarga, Poshna, all these things he wants to know, full details. And he wants to know, and he's asking a question. And he's telling in 2.8.24, whatever I have asked and whatever I have not asked, please tell. Because this is the nature of the devotee, He's so humble. Parikshit Maharaj is so inquisitive to know about the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. And not only he wants to know about the pastimes, he wants to know how the creation happens. These are all very dry subject matters for us, how the creation happens, especially third canto. If you read, you're going to come to the third canto, especially 5th chapter to 11th chapter is full of creation. And these are all very, very dry chapters, very, very dry, and philosophy. And you cannot, Prabhupada writes written wonderful purport, but very dry. You will feel very, when we can skip this, like that we did. But Parikshit Maharaj wants to know that, because from the creation, we can understand the intensity of such a big a cosmic manifestation created by the Lord. It's unimaginable that Krishna is creating such a big manifestation. So he's asking all these questions. So in 9th chapter, second canto, 9th chapter, Lord Sukadeva Goswami answers very nicely. So don't worry. I will tell you the conversation which happened between Lord Brahma and Krishna. Lord Brahma did tapas. He was born from the lotus stem, and he tried to find out what is his root, and he couldn't find out. And then he came up to the top of the stem, and he started meditating on the Lord. And then he doesn't know. He was looking all the sides, and it was dark. It was choppy waves. The Garbhodaka ocean was very, very powerful, and very choppy waves, and the wind was going on, and it was very dark. No association. At the time, 2 words, ta, pa, were heard. And then he heard that, and he implicitly, obediently prayed to the Lord, and he did tapas. Because of his tapans, was non-deceptive. Non-deceptive means without any deceptive motive. Without any motive, he did the devotional service. And because of his devotional service was without any motive, Krishna appeared and in fact handshake with him and told him about how the creation happens. And then he tells the 4 seed verses, 2nd canto, 9th chapter, 33, 34, 35, 36. These, just like in Bhagavad Gita, we have seed verses, 10th chapter, 8, 9, 10, and 11. These are all the 4 seed verses. What do you mean by seed? Our Maharaj to see. The seed is that we can see the seed in, suppose a seed of a tree. So how the seed of the tree is there in the flower. It is also there in the fruit. It is also there in the stem. It is also there in the branch. Same way, the seed verses can be reflected in every part of the Bhagavad. Seed verses, or the seed means this is the ground by which the whole Bhagavatam is built. The whole Bhagavatam is built by the 4 verses spoken by the Lord Brahma. Those verses are very important, And those purports are so wonderful. If you have time, you can go and read it. I think you have already discussed this chapter. So now, after discussing this chapter, then immediately he is going to explain what are the subject matters of this Bhagavatam. What is this Bhagavatam consists of? What is the subject matter we are going to discuss? So this is a question which has arisen in the mind of Parikshit Maharaj. And therefore he answers very nicely in second canto, 10th chapter, first verse. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanam kutayah manmantriyana ishanugata virodo mukti rashraya. There are 10 subject matters which are discussed in this Bhagavad. First is called Sarga. Sarga means creation. Creation here means it is done by Lord Krishna or Garbhodakashaya Vishnu or Mahavishnu. So what happens? I will just brief. I'm not going to go into the creation. It's a big topic, It's a topic itself. So when conditioned living entities, that's what we said, we saw in the where they are not liberated from the matter. So what they do, Krishna, what he does is they enter into the Garbhodaka or the stomach of Garbhodaka, Garbhodaka Kashaya Vishnu. There are three Vishnus: Mahavishnu, Garbhodaka Kashaya Vishnu, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Kashaya Vishnu. These three people are important for any creation. Mahavishnu is nothing but is lying in the ocean. From his body, skin pores, millions of universes coming. Once each and every universe, Krishna and this Garbhodaka Kashaya Vishnu enters and he fills off with water and then he sleeps there. From the Garbhodaka Vishnu, the lotus stem forms and then the 14 planetary systems are built. And then we are one of the universe. So ours is also one of the universe where with the Garbhodaka ocean, Garbhodaka Kashaya Vishnu is there. And then Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Kashaya Vishnu is the Paramatma who is entering into each and every atom of the universe. So this is the basic. So this creation, the conditioned living entities were not liberated in this material world. And the world is annihilated. At that time, what happens? They have no other go except to go into the stomach of Garbhodaka Kashaya Vishnu. When they live, when the creation happens again, then they will come back again with whatever karmas and activities they have done and whatever destiny they have done and whatever state of mind they are, they will get that status. Suppose you are thinking of alva and then they die, then next Janma you will be making out of alva. We don't know what type of status Krishna will give. So it is very important for us to understand. So Atra, Sarga, Visarga. Visarga means secondary creation, which is Brahma. Is creating so many living entities from Brahma, Shatarupa, and all the living entities comes. So that is called Visarga, secondary creation, done by the Lord Brahma. And then third is called Sthanam. Sthanam is a planetary position or geographical position, which is nicely mentioned in the Greece. Poshanam is a protection by the Lord. Utaya. Utaya means it's inauspicious and auspicious activities done by. It's basically which canto and all we discuss. Manmantrena. Manmantrena means it is the dynasty of Manmantras and it describes about how the Lord appears in the various Manmantras. That is already described. Ishanagata is nothing but Krishna's Katha. It is Ishanagata means it is Krishna's Katha. It's a glorification of the Lord and his pastimes and the glorification of the Lord's devotees. Then Nirodha is nothing but annihilation and Mukti is nothing but liberation. And then Ashraya means shelter. So here, Sarga Visarga is also mentioned in actually the whole Bhagavatam is like, 12 cantos represents various parts of the Lord. Is not different from the Lord. There is a nice verse in the Padma Puran which says that Pado Yadiyo Pratama Vidiyo Tritiya Turya Katitau Yendurnibinas Tata Panchama Eva Ashisho Bojataram Doryugalam Tata Nunya Kanditastu Rajan Navamo Yadiya Mukaravinda Dashamo Prapullam Ega Daso Yeshala Patam Siropi Dudvadasi Evapati. The first and second canto of the Bhagavatam is nothing but his lotus feet. The third and fourth canto are his thighs, Krishna's thighs. And then the fifth canto is navel, Krishna's navel. And the sixth canto is his chest, which is there. And then seventh canto is the other two, are nothing but his arms, 7 and 8 are the two arms. Dor Yugalam. And then the 9th canto is nothing but Krishna's neck, kantas. And the 10th canto is nothing but Krishna's mukharavindam, or the lotus face. And then 9th canto and 11th canto is nothing but Lalata Patalam, his forehead, whatever we can say. And the 12th canto is head. So this is how the Bhagavatam is split into. Padma describes very nicely. And then we can see how all these are there, Sarga. Sarga is basically is dealt in first canto also a little bit. Second, Sarga, Visarga, and Poshna, all three are there. Poshna protection is there also. Protection is there for Kunti Maharani. Protection is there for Parishit Maharaj. Protection is there for, what is his name? I have some leg problem. Please, I'm not able to squat. So, protection is there for Kunti Maharani, and then Pagi Mandev, this Uttara also. Abhimanyu's wife, protection was also there. So that protection also there. So, and then how the Pandavas were protected by Krishna. So Poshana is also there. That is the first canto. The second canto talks about little bit of creation, not much details. The third canto is full description of creation. And then the fourth canto, third and fourth canto is Visarga. Secondary creation, the primary creation is mentioned. And fifth canto basically talks about sthana, means geographical position, planetary systems, how they are placed. It is nicely described. And then Poshanam, sixth canto is Poshanam, where the protection of Chitraketu is there. Mainly Chitraketu and Ajamila pastimes are there. And then protection is there. And the seventh canto is talking about Huta, or the description of the Lord, inauspicious and auspicious. Auspicious activities done by Prahlad Maharaj, inauspicious activities done by Hiranyakashipu, and then the various Varnashrama dharmas. All these are all mentioned in Uta, which is mentioned in the seventh canto. The eighth canto talks about Manvantara creation, the creation of the Lord, and various Manus and various Lord incarnations appearance are mentioned in the eighth canto of the Bhagavatam. And ninth canto, it talks about Ishanubhada, signs of God, where we can see it is proved how Ambarish Maharaj was protected, even though Durvasa Muni trying to annihilate him. So signs of God, where Krishna says that he is more powerful than Brahmana. That's what is proved. And Durvasa Muni is not different from Lord Shiva's incarnation. So 9th canto. 10th canto is shelter, which is nothing but Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Vrindavan pastime, Mathura pastime, Dwarka pastimes, and Hastinapur, Krishna's opulence. All these are all part of Ashraya. And then 11th canto talks about liberation. Because 11th canto talks about detachment, and detachment from matter. So that's why it is. And then Nirodha, 12th canto, talks about liberation. So now, in the previous verse, it is very important. Science of God is very important. Our spiritual master, our process is perfect. It is a scientific process. It is proved. How it is proved, we can see that Kirtanananda Prabhu, Kirtanananda Maharaj, Jayadvaita Maharaj, Bhaktivikas Swami Maharaj, all the people, they are completely transferred from addiction to women, sex, and whatnot, to become a devotees of the Lord, and they're now transcribing various literatures. Bhaktivikas Swami is writing so many books. How is it possible? Because it's purely because of the transformation. And it's a science, because the process is proved. Science means what? You had two atoms of hydrogen, one atom of oxygen, you mix with, you get water. The same way, if you do this process of Krishna consciousness, it is a scientific process. It's a science. The science of God, it is very important, the science of God. Science of God, it is proved. It's a science. To understand God is a science. It's not a mystical or emotional. No, it's not emotional. It is very rational science, which you prove by process of chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. We have changed. We have left our meat and eaten chicken and all. No, correct or no? We ourselves are transformed. No, I was taking 20 coffees a day, so that was different. I was eating onion and all this. I like onion very much. I left onion. I don't like onion now. Why? Because the Krishna conscious science work. The chanting of the holy names is working. Because The chemical formula is working in the mind. The chemical formula is working in the body. It is complete transformation. So it's a science. So it's a science. It is proved. How Prahlad Maharaj said that from the pillar Krishna can come. Krishna can come from anywhere. Correct? Krishna is Sarvavyapi. And then he proved he came from the pillar. It's a science. Correct? Krishna is coming from the pillar. It's unbelievable. But it happened because it's a science. Because when we believe Krishna is there, definitely Krishna will come. So this unadulterated belief, and therefore this process is a scientific process. It is proved. And so many people. And then there is one devotee. His name is Crazy Peter. He was just putting, basically he was putting the napkins in the toilet. That is his job. He was putting the napkins in the toilet, and that was his job. And he was drunkard, and he was a drug addict. Then Prabhupada tolerated. And they said, no, why we have to tolerate this Crazy Peter? Let him throw out, and all these people were telling. Prabhupada said, please just simply tolerate. They tolerated him, and Crazy Peter to Kushank the Prabhu, transcribing Sanskrit literature in English. He left his body recently, and he transcribed some of the Sanskrit. So it's proved. It's a science. So it is a science of God. It's not an ordinary fiction, It's not a story. These are all not story. Bhagavatam is not a story. It's a history. History means it has already happened. Prahlad Maharaj was there. Parikshit Maharaj was there. These are all history. But these people, they say it's a mystery. And they say it's a mythological. It doesn't have any belief. But it is proved. And 100 years from now, Prabhupada has done, within 10 years, he has built 108 temples. People say it is mystery, mythological. It cannot happen. How come in 10 years, a human being can build 108, and then at the age of 70, 75, how we can do it? It's all impossible. You are talking bullshit. They will say you are a bullshit. Because they will say that how can you construct 108 temples in the span of just 12 years? How is it possible at the age of 65 with 3 months of heart attacks and so on? It is proved. And Prabhupada, one time, what he was having a big problem, and head was rolling, and one of the left side was not functioning at all. You know that is a paralytic attack, almost like a paralytic attack. But he said simply chant. And simply by chanting the holy names of Krishna, his hand revived, his leg revived, and he came and he started participating in the program. It's a science proved. So it's a science. So it will happen to us? No, it will not happen to us. Don't think that by chanting the holy name, if you have paralytic attack, I'll get back my hands and legs. No, because we are all not pure. We are not in the pure platform. Since we are not in the pure platform, it will not work for us. So we have to be very careful. There's a ocean of distinction between true devotees and us. So this is very important for us to understand. So this is very important for us to understand. So now, so Prabhupada writes in this particular verse, this Nirodha. Nirodha means all when the annihilation happens, all the conditioned souls, what they do is Anusayan. They will take its shelter in the stomach of Garbhodaka. That's what happens. Because they will enter into when the universe itself is annihilated, then we will go into Mahavishnu. That is Karnodaka Vishnu. Okay? At that time, all the living entities will enter to the Karnodaka Vishnu. For the time being, within the universe, within the universe is not annihilated. When the universe is annihilated, a particular universe is annihilated, then what will do? The whole universe will enter into the Karnodaka Vishnu, into the stomach. All the conditioned living entities will enter into that. But in case of other living entities, it will go into Garbhodaka Vishnu. So that's what he says. So after winding up the cosmic manifestation, most of the merge into the existence of Mahavishnu, personality, created, and they'll be ready to be created again. But some of the conditioned souls who follow the transcendental sound in the form of Vedic literature are thus able to go back to Godhead. So it is very important. Some of them. So those we are all trying. We are some of them, we have been selected to follow the transcendental sound. What is the transcendental sound? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Those who follow the transcendental sounds in the form of, they will go back to attain the spiritual and material bodies. The gross and subtle bodies will go. It's a nice verse in the Bhagavatam, which talks about how even the subtle body, the gross body is annihilated, we know, because it is burnt and all. Subtle body is nothing but our mind, intelligence, and ego. These are all how it is dissolved. It is nicely mentioned in 3.25.33. Jarayati ashu ya kosham nirgranam analoyata. Bhakti, devotional service, dissolves the subtle body of the living entity without separate effort, just as the fire in the stomach digests all we eat. Just in the fire in the stomach digests all we eat. So the material conditional bodies develop. So it is very important. Moment 3.25.33 is very important for us to understand it. 3.25.33. So it's very important for us to understand how the subtle body, the mind intelligence, and because the mind intelligence is the main reason for getting various bodies. So it is very important for us to understand the mind intelligence and ego. And all this, which is the most important element, mind intelligence and ego, which is the main one which is controlling us. Anybody can tell?
Ego.
Which is the main one? Mind intelligence. Huh?
You said mind, ego, and what is the third one you said, Prabhuji?
Intelligence.
Okay. So it is...
Of the three, which is the main thing?
Intelligence.
I mean, intelligence is definitely the main thing, but we are not using our intelligence. I think we are using our ego to deal in day-to-day lives. That's the first thing that comes and obstructs our bhakti.
Correct. You are right. Absolutely right. But actually, the ego is a cousin sister of mind. Intelligence is co-brother. Is not a direct relationship. Intelligence is sleeping. You are right. Absolutely right. Super Mataji. Intelligence is sleeping, and false ego is always flaring up. And the false ego cannot work on its own. It is working because of the mind. My mind tells you. Suppose I come to the program, and Pan Prabhu doesn't say Hare Krishna to me. Somebody says, don't say Hare Krishna. What will happen? Our ego is hurt. No? Our cousin is hurt. Ego is hurt. But the mind will say, why this fellow has not done it? Why this fellow has not done it? Then this fellow we have to ignore. We should not even talk to him. We should stop all relations with him. We should blaspheme him. We should cut him to pieces. The mind will tell you. So the mind is the main cause of all the problems. Ripuratmanaha. Mind is the biggest enemy of the conditioned soul. So mind is actually the controller of the intelligence and the false ego. False ego flares up. False ego flares up. It goes up. Its BP goes up because of the mind. Mind inflates it. Oh, this fellow has not given Hare Krishna to you. He has not said Haribol to you. He has not said Dandavat Pranams to you. Therefore, we have to blast him. This is the nature of the mind. Mind will infuriate. Mind will fuel. Mind will give fuel to the ego, and ego will flare up. And that's how he said. And then mind, the ego will say, go and talk to that fellow. Wow, you didn't say Hare Krishna to me. What type of devotee you are? And then you condemn guys and all. For what? Nothing. And that Prabhu, and that's why our Maharaj says, that living entity, which has not said Hare Krishna, he is in different state of mind. He would have seen you, but he is not seeing you because because he is absorbed in his own problems. He has his own child problem, his own family problem, his office problems and groping. And then he is not able to even relate to you. He's so much engrossed in his problems that he's not able to even talk to you. And then you think, oh, this fellow has done. He has not done deliberately because he has got his own problems. So different people, different mentalities. And he is already suffering because of some problems. Okay, he has got the mental suffering, which he is going through. And we don't know about it. And then we blame and we flare up. So therefore, the false ego is really very good. False ego is fueled by mind. So this is what happens. So this is very important for us. Mind is the biggest enemy. And therefore, here in this verse talks about, it's beautiful verse, it talks about liberation. This verse, Mukti Hitva Anyata Rupam. Mukti, liberation, giving up otherwise, Sorupena, in constitutional form, permanent situation. Sorupena Vivastitihi. Vivastiti means permanent situation. Our permanent situation is in Golok Vrindavan. We have nothing to do with this material world. We have nothing to do with this material. Frankly speaking, we have nothing to do. We have nothing to do with our own wife. We have nothing to do with our own children. Because these are all temporary, correct? Once we die, our relationship is cut off. My father-in-law died. What relationship I have with my father-in-law now? I may cry for a few times. First year I will cry. First year I will cry for half an hour. Second year I will cry for 10 minutes. For third year I will cry for 1 minute. And afterwards his son will not cry. My wife is not thinking about his father at all. The crying is stopped. Why? Because our relationship is temporary. Our eternal relationship is only with Krishna. That is our mukti. This word is very important. Mukti hitva anyata rupa. Anyata rupa means giving up otherwise. Anyata rupam sorupena. Because liberation means not in this material conception, but in the liberated stage. And that's why Prabhupada was able to simply take grape juice or orange juice and write and give purports after purports and 10th canto of the Bhagavad. How we can give when he was lying on the bed? How is it possible? Because he knows that he is not this body. The moment we transcend the bodily conception, we are able to do so many things. Okay. Sometimes we are, I used to get an example, what has happened? I was flying first time from Abu Dhabi to Chennai to see my son and my family and all. So I was planning to go. Then I said, okay, what is the best way to go? So I went to Dubai to buy a big box, to buy whatever items I want to buy. I went to Dubai. I came from office 4 o'clock, 4:15, 4:30 I came. 4:30, then after some time I took some prasadam. And then at the time I was eating outside. I was eating hotel food. And 5:30 I left for Dubai. It took 2 hours because it's very heavy traffic. 7 o'clock I reached and I went to the mall and then I searched for the box. It took about two hours to get the box and all. 9 o'clock I purchased so many items there. And then 9 o'clock I took a bus and came back at 11:30, 12. And then I packed everything up to 1:32. 1:32 I packed. 2 o'clock I slept. And then 4:30, 5 o'clock I had to wake up because 7 o'clock is the bus. 6:30 is the bus. So 5 o'clock, 3 hours only I slept. 5 o'clock I woke up and then I took the box and then I went into the bus. I went into my office bus and I went there. And then I was so energetic in the office and I didn't sleep at all. I worked very hard and 1:30, 3 or 3:30 was the flight. 1:30 I took permission and I started and I went to the airport. So I slept only in the night. When I reached home, I have to go to Bombay. From Bombay, I have to go to Chennai, So I was not feeling, I was in the Bombay also, I was awake because I'm so eager. So what happens? I transcended the body. 3 hours of sleep was enough for me. So that means how can I do it? Because it's Krishna Pan. At that time, my mind was engaged. So they say this is for ordinary conditioned soul. What about the pure devotee of the Lord? So he can sleep for even 1 hour. That is enough for him to good health. Don't try because if you have BP, sugar, and all this, if you have BP and all, you should have at least 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Minimum 5 hours of sleep is required. Don't try 3 hours sleep if you have a BP and all. Practically, I am very practical. Those who are don't have any disease, they can try. The young age, you can try a lot of this. So once you have BP, sugar, and all this, you require some rest. Body may require it, and it depends from body to body. Some may require 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours sleep. It depends from body to body. It changes from body to body. So don't worry about it. So this is what we have to understand. So when the time the mind becomes so enthusiastic to meet, to go to India first time. So I'm very happy. I'm going in the flight after so much time. So it is so wonderful, So this is very wonderful. So at the time, we transcend all the bodily tiredness and everything. Why? Because our goal is to go and meet somebody and enjoy the life. The same way, if you do the devotion service also, Krishna will give the energy and you will not become tired. And that is sure as per Bhagavad. So now, main thing we found out that we discussed is the mind, intelligence, and falsity. So what is the main problem we saw is the mind. So how to control the mind? And that's what we are going to discuss today to come to the liberated stage. And Prabhupada writes in the purport very nicely. It is very important for us. Very important point is saying, But some of the conditioned soul who follow the transcendental sound in the form of Vedic literatures and thus able to go back attain. And then he says, the material condition, reading or hearing of such transcendent ones become liberated even in the conditioned state of material existence. Reading or hearing of such transcendental literature. Reading and hearing means Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam should be daily heard, should be daily read, and we have to hear Bhagavatam from Prabhupada or your Guru Maharaj, whatever it is. Every day we have to study Bhagavatam. Please don't miss it. And this is then what happens the moment we are with Bhagavatam now, we are discussing Bhagavatam, we are liberated from matter. Okay? For the time being, we are not thinking about other things. We are thinking about Krishna. Now, hopefully, we are thinking about Bhagavatam only. We are attentively listening. Rushanvataha. So that means our soul is getting liberated at this moment. We are liberated. Mukti Anmyata Rupam. Swarupena Vivasati. The more we read Bhagavatam, the more we chant the holy names, at that time we are in the liberated condition. So every time we take the chanting deed, that means we are in the liberated condition. So this is very important for us to understand. Or we want to get really liberated, freed from the material pangs, that is our choice. If you don't want, you suffer in this material. That Krishna gives an option, no? Dukkale Marshashva. You suffer as much as possible. So this is a very important point for us to understand. So here, the main obstacle which is coming in our way to come to the liberated stage is mind. So how to control the mind? Krishna gives a nice formula. We will discuss that and then we'll close it. He says in 5th chapter, 17th verse, he says very nicely, Tad buddhes tad atmanas, tad nishta tad parayanaha, gachanti apunaravrtim, jnana nirduta kalpashaha. Tad buddhayas. It's very important. Mataji said a very nice point. No? Mataji said that the intelligence is there, but it is not working. You are right. By intelligence only, we have to control the mind. We cannot control by anybody else. By intelligence only. By transcendental intelligence, we have to control this rascal mind. Tad atmanas. Then first buddhayas, then tad atmanas. Because if you see in Bhakti, Bhagavad Gita, manmanaman bhakto, control the mind, control the mind, control the mind. But here, Krishna is telling an exceptional case that tat buddhayas, with buddhi. You have to put your buddhi, intelligence, invest your thinking, invest your intelligence in Krishna, invest your mind in Krishna, and invest your faith in Krishna. These are all the investments which we have to make if you come to the liberated stage. If you want the conditional state, we can continue whatever state we want. Eating, mating, sleeping, and different things which you are doing. If you want to come to the liberated stage, we want to mukti anmata swarupam, swarupena vivastiti. That means we want to be liberated from this material existence. Then we have to put our intelligence. That's why those who come to Krishna consciousness, we are very little. They are intelligent. Prabhupada writes in the various purports of the Bhagavatam, those who come to Krishna consciousness are very, very intelligent. Those who are intelligent only will come. Because the small, ordinary people, they are interested in eating, mating, sleeping, in different things. They are not interested to know about Krishna. They are not interested to get rid of this material. Oh, suffering is there, it's okay. Allah is given like this. They used to say in Abu Dhabi, Allah is given like this, we accept it. Like that, that's all. They don't know how to mitigate this. They don't have any idea. At least we have ideas. So that means we are thinking. This transcendental, firing up our transcendental intelligence is coming from the pages of the Bhagavad. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Tat buddhayas. We have to control mind. Tat atmanas. Tat nishta. Nishta means faith. Tat parayana. Then immediately we go into the tat parayana. So how we will go? Gachanti apunar avritim. Gachanti means we will go back. Apunar. Apunar means there is no more birth. Avritim. Definitely we will go back. And then why? How it will do? Jnana nirdusha kalpashaha. By transcendental intelligence, we incur the transcendental knowledge, and with the transcendental knowledge, all our contamination in the material mind, material intelligence will be purified. By purifying our consciousness, by purifying our mind, or purifying our intelligence, we can, and purifying our faith, what will happen? We will go Gachanti Apunar Avritim. Gachanti means we will go back to Apunar, where there is no birth. We will go back. So this is what, when one intelligence is mind and faith are fixed in the Supreme, one becomes fully cleansed and misgivings through. So how to control the mind? So we will see. It is very important for us to understand this. So, normal people, I don't want to go into that. So mind is, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu gives a nice example. Mind is like a child. Our mind is like a child. Our intelligence is like a mother. So mother and child, example I'm telling. So mother, what she will do, suppose the child has got cold, cough or something. So what she will do, she will go to the doctor. The doctor will give medicine, prescription. These are all the medicines you have to give 3 times a day. So the medicine is not palatable. It's kadwa. कड़वा मेडिसिन कड़वा होता है ना, हमेशा कड़वा होता है, उसको पसंद नहीं है. बच्चों को प्यार नहीं होता है वो दवाई खाने के लिए प्यार नहीं होता, दवाई खाने में नफरत होता है. We don't like. In fact, I also take medicine, BP medicine and all. It's kadwa, both kadwa. Then we take some sweets or something, some sugar to nullify the kadwa in our tongue. So naturally, the children will definitely refuse to take the medicine. So but the intelligence, mother has to do, mother or no. Yes. And who is doctor? For us, intelligence is our mother, and buddhi is like a small child. Chanchala. Chanchala means always agitating. So it will always say, no, I will not take medicine, I will not take medicine. That's what the mind will tell. And then the intelligence, but the intelligence, what we'll do? We'll tell, no, you have to take. We'll give the child. We'll force the mind. We'll force the mind. Oh, I don't want to chant. We force the mind. Oh, Arik, please chant. This is the liberation state. We have to chant. And who has given? The doctor. Who is the doctor? Krishna. Krishna is given in the form of the holy names. Krishna is come in the form of Vedic literatures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and all. So, the sadhana bhakti is nothing but a process telling the intelligence, I don't want to chant. Okay? I don't like to chant. I'm getting salary. I'm getting everything. I'm having a big bungalow. I'm having a big nice fellow. Why I should worry about chanting the holy names of Krishna? The mind will tell. So that way the intelligence, yes, we have to use our intelligence. The child will not like. So holy names, Krishna's remembrance, all this, the spiritual master, Krishna Mande Jagat Guru. So Krishna and Guru will tell you, please chant the holy names of the Lord. Daily you chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha. This is not going to be a waste, because this is taking you to liberation. Sorupena Vivastiti. Sorupena means our Sorupa is liberated condition. We have to be in Gola Vrindavan. We have nothing to do with this material world. Correct? We have to be liberated in the material, spiritual world. But we are not liberated. We are in the conditional world and we are suffering. Oh, I am this body. I am this. I am a chartered accountant. I am an engineer. I am a software engineer. I am a data analyst expert. I am a business analytics expert. I am a cyber security expert. I am this expert. I am a software expert. I am a mutual funds expert. All these expertness, we think like that. These are all nothing. Once the body is finished, the Junjunwala, the Pune fellow, he was having so much of opulence, $92 billion, so much of opulence. But he didn't care. He left his body. Sudden heart attack, he left this. And Cyril Mistry, the Tata Group fellow who went with an accident, he finished. Nothing accompanies him. So it is so important for us to understand, how actually 2 software engineers in Chennai, they were going on the platform, on the road, sidewalk. They are not going on the road. One fellow was drunk. He came and mowed down and killed both of them instantly. 2 girls. One girl is 23, one girl is 28. Both died on the spot. Can you imagine? So we don't know when the death comes, We are not sure. Death is chasing us, Mrityu pradavati aranam tabimahi. Mrityu is chasing us every time. So, but we don't understand that. So our original position, so tat buddha, yes. So all this, what is this? Why I am telling all this? You have to tell the buddhi, oh, today I'll take some relaxation. Today I don't chant, doesn't matter to me. What is the problem? Tomorrow I'll chant. Today you have to tell your mind, you are going to die today. Please chant the holy names. Please don't leave the holy names. Tomorrow you are going to die. Tonight you are going to die. What do you do if you die now? In seeing films and whatnot, and what will happen to you? You will die. Please chant the holy names. So that Buddha, yes. So you have to tell your intelligence to invest your intelligence on Krishna and fix your mind. And the child, it's like a child. Kadwa hai. Medicine kadwa hai. But we have to force. We don't like to chant the holy names. We don't like to hear Bhagavatam. We don't like to hear Bhagavad Gita. But we force ourselves. This force is required. If you want to, Swarupena Vivastiti, if you want to be liberated. If you want to be mukti, liberated from this matter, then we have to do this. Tad Buddha, yes. So this is what we have to understand, the mind. So this is very important for us. And mind. And therefore, the sadhana bhakti is so important for us. No? So the mind wants to enjoy TV. Mind wants to enjoy TV serials. Mind wants to enjoy other opulences. Mind wants to enjoy pizza. Mind wants to enjoy pasta. Mind wants to enjoy noodles. It will enjoy, but wants to enjoy. But we have to force our mind. Yes, my first duty is to chant the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. And mind, what is this mind? Mind is the source of all desires. It's a source. It's a source. It generates a desire after desire. Desire after desire. I saw here a lot of cars coming, beautiful cars. And you won't believe it. I saw a Tesla car. Tesla car, battery operated. $70,000 or US dollar. I thought I should drive this car. I should buy this car and drive. I don't have money, but I want to drive. See, this desire erupting. The Tesla car, I don't know anything in India. No, I don't know about Tesla car. Now I come here and I see, oh, Tesla car I want to buy. So because the fundamental problem is, mind is always generating desires. It's a source of generating desires. It's a source. It generates desires. And then what we do in Krishna consciousness, we do two things, two extremes. You shouldn't do that. One extreme is that I will control all my desires. I don't want to go to Tesla. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. No, but I want it. I want it. Inside the mind will say, I want it. I want it. I want it. Outside mind will say, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Inside the mind, I want it. I want it. So that's why we try to shrug off all that. That is also not good. And then I should say, I will enjoy it. Two extremes. Either I will not do any, I will not satisfy any desires. I will not satisfy any desires. I will control my desire. I'll control. Then what happens? One day you will break out, freak out. That is too much extreme. And another extreme is that I will enjoy all the desires and see what happens. That is also, so we have to balance. This balance to control the desires. And that's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, no? We have to shaknoti. Shaknoti means we have to tolerate the desires. And that is very important, We have to balance the desires. So, nature of the mind is, or what is this mind? The mind, nature of the mind, it changes slowly. It doesn't change immediately. Okay? Suppose the same child, mother example. When the child is small, when you give them to study, please study. It will not study. It will not study. Because he doesn't want to study. He wants to play. He wants to play. But when it comes to 11th standard or 12th standard, the child knows. Oh, I have to study. I have to earn money. So the child will know. So it will take time. So mind immediately will not agree. So it takes time. So we have to tell the child. We have to tell the mind. Please chant the holy names. Please chant. Now itself it is good for you. It's good for you. It's good for you. It's good for you. Here the Bhagavatam literature. Because Swarupena Vivastiti. We have to be in the liberated conditions of the life. The daily chanting and reading of scriptures is very important. When we experience Krishna in this life, the sunset, we get the taste. We get the taste. Without taste, you are not coming to this program. Correct? You have the taste for the holy names. You have the taste for Bhagavatam. Otherwise, you will not come to this program. Correct? Every day, why Paranth Prabhu is organizing program, you are coming? How is it possible? Vinitra Mataji is coming for a long time. So, how come you are coming? Because you have got some taste. Without taste, you cannot come. It's impossible. It's almost impossible. So the taste has been developed. Only thing is we have to increase the taste. Just like gulab jamun, when we taste one, we want to take another one. Like that, this Krishna consciousness is the gulab jamun. We have to take that. It's called bullet. We have to take that. And what will happen? The mind, nature is that it will propose. Oh, today is morning 7 o'clock. We have whole day with us. Why we have to chant in the morning itself? Okay, we have chanted in the regular, this program, daily program, we have chanted. Okay, 12 rounds we have chanted. Let us chant in the evening. This is what the mind. But we have to force our mind. Let us complete the chanting 16 rounds now, the morning, the mode of goodness. So the mind is clear. Mind doesn't agitate too much. The mind is not caring for more desires. So that's what we have to do. So the mind will propose. Mind will propose, let us take some relax. Oh, wake up early in the morning. Let us take some relax. Mind will tell you always, oh, you have woken up 4:30 in the morning. You should relax. We can chant in the evening. That's what the mind will. We can read Bhagavatam tomorrow, Bhagavad Gita tomorrow. That's not our requirement. That we can. That is not my cup of tea. I don't want it. You don't like it. You don't know it, but still touch with the scriptures is very important. Touch with Prabhupada books is very, 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 very important. Please don't ignore Bhagavatam. Please don't ignore Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada has toiled and moiled for hours together to write these scriptures. So mind will propose, but we should say no. How it will propose? I will give you an example. You understand. Okay? The same child mother example. Child and mother are going in the road. The child says, Papa, I want coffee. Papa, I want toffee. Papa, I want the teddy bear. Papa, I want this. Mummy, I want. Mama, I want this. Mama, I want. The child will go on telling. Because he just got desires. He will go on telling. What will the mother do? Mother will yield to her child. Look at the child sitting in the next seat. In the other seat. No. The mother will look into the car and drive. So what we'll have to do? This is intelligence. The mother is the mind intelligence. The child is the mind. Chanchala. He's always asking. So his mind will propose. At the time, what we'll do? We'll just focus. Oh, no. This is not my desire. Just ignore the child. Upekshaya. Upekshaya means ignore. Please ignore the mind. Once you ignore the mind, what will happen? It will make a rattle for some time. Afterwards, it will keep quiet. It will shout for some time. Oh, you do see this, do this. And then you are not listening. Then the mother is not listening to the child. The child will keep quiet. Then automatically the mind will keep quiet. And then you can go ahead in Krishna consciousness. So this is a nice example. When you go drive in a car, we are driving the way life is driving. So the mind will tell you, oh, do this, propose. Always mind proposes. So what we'll do? We just ignore this. Once we ignore, then what will go in the right path? So this is what we have to understand. So this is the next one. And temptations will come. A lot of temptations will come, but we have to. Saknoti yasodum. Praksharira vimokshana. Saknoti means we have to tolerate these desires. So all these desires, so it is very important. We have to. So this is very important for us to understand that how to tolerate the desires, And sometimes the desires, if we often we focus, we don't mean to enjoy. We focus and we want actually unrealistic expectation. We are not realistic sometimes. The mind will give you unrealistic situation. This will happen to you, this will happen to you, this will happen to you. That will never happen to you. So that's why we should not be in unrealistic situation. Always we should be in a realistic situation. And that's what we should try. Always we have to understand the reality, where we are, how we are. And this is very important for us to understand in the devotion service. So this is very important for us. So, okay. So it is very important for us. So with the mind, then we have to control with the intelligence, we have to control the mind. So tad buddhes, tad atmanas, tad dishtas. Then we have to have the faith. Faith is also very important because the mind will always create problem for the faith and the intelligence. Our faith will shaken. Why it will be shaken? Suppose something inauspicious happens, something which we don't want to happen, then immediately our faith will go. There was one devotee in ISKCON. We are just opposite to ISKCON, Silicon Valley. One devotee, staunch devotee, is initiated, a very advanced devotee. He lost his child. So, young child, he died in America only because of some disease or something. So, he said, I don't believe in chanting the holy name because Krishna has let me. It is natural. What will do? No, this Prabhuji has blunder. You should not blame Krishna. You should not do this. No. Please don't do that. Because it is natural for him. But what we have to do, we have to counsel him. We have to give him some time. Let him get over the grief. We have to let him grieve. Let him grieve. Because in 2-3 years, even if he doesn't chant, doesn't matter. Because he has chanted the holy names, Krishna will take care of it. It's not that, no, we should not force him. Prabhu, you have to accept. He's not a pure devotee. He is not Prabhupada. Why we are doing that? Why we are putting a gun on the head? Prabhuji, you have to accept Tatya Anukampa. Why you are telling Tatya Anukampa? I don't like it. Don't cheat people, in the form of Tatya Anukampa. I don't like to cheat. Oh, you have to tolerate all the deaths and all. We are not, Arjuna did not tolerate. When Abhimanyu died, Krishna never said that, Dehi knows me, Dehi Komara Vibharamjar. He was also crying. Krishna was also crying for Abhimanyu. Why we are doing it? Please don't do it. And I understand that. I told the devotee, let him take 2-3 years. Once he slowly accepts his death of his child, then slowly he will come back. We have to give him the space and time. And that is very important for us in devotion. Prabhuji and Mataji. So we have to understand. It's not so easy to accept the thing. So it is quite natural that the faith will be shaken. Well, that will happen because our karmas are there, our destiny is there. How we will accept the karma? Nobody will accept karma. So it's not so easy. If you are on the pure platform, yes, you will accept. If you are Parishit Maharaj, he accepts because within 7 days you are going to die, he accepts it. Can we do it? No, we cannot do it. Simply we cannot do it. So I pity that Prabhuji and I appreciate his grievance. Let him lament for 2-3 years and then we will go and pacify. Not that you put the gun, Prabhuji, you are not a devotee, you have to accept this, or you are not a devotee, you are useless. Why we blaspheme and drive the devotee out? Krishna consciousness. Just because he doesn't have faith in Krishna. Definitely faith will be shaken. Prabhuji's and Mataji's. Our faith will be rattled. It will be like an earthquake. It will be like that. I have also went through it. So it's not that so easy. Krishna consciousness is not that, one day you will become pure devotee. No. Prabhupada wanted that standard. Definitely Prabhupada wanted. But we have to take all the people together. And we have to accept them as they are. The grievance will take time. Okay? The grievance will take time. Even my father and mother, my sister died in an accident 5 years back. Still they are not able to accept. I don't blame them. Still they are remembering. I don't blame them. No, you should forget. You should get detached. I never told them. If he is crying, let him cry. Because Putra Shogam is very, very difficult. Of all the karmas we experience, the Putra Shogam is the worst. Leaving the child is the worst. And we should not do that. So it is very important for us to understand that, So, Tad Nishnas, then Tat Parayana, then Jnana Nidhuta Kalmashaha. Then your intelligence will be purified. Nidhuta Kalmashaha means all the contamination. Your intelligence, if you are controlling the mind, if you are controlling your faith, then what will happen with the intelligence? What will happen automatically? Then automatically Jnana Nidhuta, this knowledge, this intelligence will give you transcendental knowledge. And then Nidhuta Kalmashaha. All the contamination will be wiped out from our transcendental intelligence will come. Transcendental mind will come. And then with that transcendental mind, will be liberated condition. And then you will not feel the pinch. And that is the stage. Then Swarupena Vyavasthiti. That is the original portion. Mukti Itva Anyata Rupam. Anyata Rupam means Swarupena, that we are in the liberated condition. So liberated condition is not so easy. It's a very tough verse, I cannot explain, but I try to explain to how to get rid of the mind. We will not be liberated this because of this, but we are going towards. Now, presently, when we are hearing this Krishna Katha, we are getting liberated because we are away from all material things. So this is what we have to understand from this verse and try to apply this verse in our lives. And especially we have to follow the principle of Bhagavad Gita. Tat buddhis, tat atmanas, tat dishna, tat parayanaha. Gachanti apunaravritim, jnana nidhuta kalmashaha. We have to purify our consciousness. We have to purify our intelligence. How to purify our intelligence? By fixing the mind on Krishna. And then how to purify our mind? By fixing our intelligence on mind, controlling the mind. And that's what we should do. And then we have to fix our faith also in Krishna. We have to accept. Some people are going through tough times. We have to appreciate. Oh, you are not chanting. You are Krishna conscious. You are not chanting. You can't do like that. Please don't do that. Don't put the gun on the head. And otherwise you are fallen soul, all this. We are also fallen. We are in a good condition. We are talking. Moments comes to us, that situation, whether you will be able to understand. So we are not sitting in their shoes. We have to sit in their shoes and see what is their wish. And that's how a real devotee becomes. Devotee you become a real devotee when you sit in others' shoes and understand their problems and understand the times they are going, understand the difficulties they are going. Then only you will become a devotee. Otherwise, you don't become. So that means you are not using your intelligence. Your mind, you are just succumbing to the mind. So this is what we have to understand. Then we can come to the liberated condition. Once you come to the liberated condition, then nothing affects us. Just like Prabhupada, nothing affects. That stage is the highest stage. That is the ultimate stage. We are in the lower stage of the bhakti. So first, we have to try to understand. So how to get liberated? Just like Prabhupada writes in the purport, reading of the scriptures. Reading and hearing of the scriptures will get to that liberated stage. It may not get you directly there, but it's a process. Prabhupada writes in the purport very nicely. I'll just quote that and then we'll close it. Prabhupada said, reading or hearing of such transcendental literature help us one becomes liberated even in the condition of the material existence. Aim at devotional service as soon as one is fixed upon it and once become liberated from the conditioned life. The material or simply due to conditioned soul's ignorance, as soon as he is fixed in the devotional service of the Lord, he becomes ill. How to fix it? Tat buddhes, tat atmanas, tat dishnas. How to fix it? We have to fix our intelligence through the mind. We have to fix our intelligence through our faith. We have to fix intelligence, all this through jnana and dosha, by hearing the transcendental topics of Krishna and purifying our consciousness. So then, this devotional service is transcendental attraction for the supreme account of his being the source of all pleasing humors. So we reach the stage of loving devotional service of the Lord. From now, we are dragging ourselves from Mangalarti and all. We come to the pure stage of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. I will stop here. So, any questions? Anything you want to ask? You ask. Then
Hare
we'll
Krishna.
close.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very purifying class. Hare Krishna. किसी भक्त का कोई प्रश्न है? If any devotee has a question, you can ask. You can type in the comment box or you can unmute. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. If no devotee has a question, then we can conclude, I think.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Vandit Pranam.
Nano Pranam, Padaji. Yes, Padaji.
वही क्वेश्चंस हैं, रीडिंग नहीं हो रही है, चैंटिंग नहीं हो रही है, वही रिपीटेड क्वेश्चंस है.
So, reading नहीं हो रहे?
चैंटिंग नहीं हो रही, रीडिंग नहीं हो रही है. चैंटिंग
Okay.
जबरदस्ती करनी पड़ती है.
Okay. How many rounds you are chanting daily? What is
So
usually?
It's not fixed. Earlier I used to do 30 rounds. And then gradually it has decreased. Now only 2 or 1, sometimes no chanting.
This is very dangerous. You are doing 30 rounds, correct?
I used to do.
Okay.
I used to do 16 rounds.
Don't do 30 rounds. Mataji, 30 rounds is not possible. Okay. We are normal material people. We have got a lot of material activities. We have to take care of the family, wife, children, so many things. You've got children and all. So 30 rounds is too much. So you have set a very high target and now you have come to 1 round. Both extremes are not good. So what I would suggest, you start with 4 rounds every day, slowly increase to 8 rounds for another 3 months or 4 months. And then slowly increase after 6 months, 8 rounds. And you have to tell every day. Remember this verse, 517 in Bhagavad Gita. Tat buddhayas. You have to tell. The mind will tell you, don't chant. And then you have to tell your intelligence, no, I have to become liberated from this material world. I'm suffering so much. I have to get liberated. I'm not happy in this material world. So we should convince our mind, telling that, ye dawa kadua hai, but lena hi padega. Ye dawa kadua hai. Ye dawa Hare Krishna mantra kadua hai, but lena hi padega. 4 rounds. At least 2 rounds every day. Slowly increase to 4 rounds, 6 rounds like that. Don't do immediately 16 rounds. So it's very important for us. I will answer your question. Sonal Mataji, okay, this is what. So, and then reading, try to hear. If you are not able to read, doesn't matter. You try to hear. A lot of English, Hindi lectures are there by various devotees, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, Radhesham Prabhu, so many devotees. You hear Hindi lectures. What I do is, Mataji, My wife used to do this. I used to also use. What I do is I go and I am doing some kitchen work. I am doing some other work. What I will do is I will put the headphone and hear the Krishna Katha and do the work. Hearing Krishna Katha one way and do your work also. Cutting vegetables, cutting fruits, cutting sabji. What is the problem? Mind is not engaged. So you can hear Krishna Katha. So you can hear some with headphones and all. So try to hear, Mataji. If you're not able to read, doesn't matter. But at least try to hear. If you can read for 10-15 minutes every day Bhagavad Gita, that is very good. If you are not able to read, no problem. 10 minutes you have to allocate. You have to tell your mind, this 10 minutes is for Krishna. This 4 rounds for Krishna. Tat buddhayas. I'm using my intelligence. Otherwise, what we are doing, intelligence is not used. As one Mataji told, intelligence is 0 used. So this is what we have to do. Okay?
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, Mataji? Try,
Okay.
please promise me that you will chant 4 rounds from tomorrow. At least 2 rounds from tomorrow. Every day you chant 2 rounds. 10 or 50, one month you chant 2 rounds. Then afterwards increase to 4 rounds. And you say that I will chant. Okay? It's my commitment. Okay? And hear for 10 minutes. I don't want to hear for 1 hour, 2 hours. Just hear for 10 minutes, Krishna Katha. Any lectures, no? By devotees. Among Leela Prabhu. So many devotees are there giving Hindi lectures. Just hear for 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes.
Okay,
Hear
Prabhu.
about it. Okay? Hear Krishna Katha for 10 minutes. Chant at least for 2 rounds, which is about 15 minutes. 25 minutes you can give for Krishna. If you give Krishna, Krishna will give compensate time and he will give more time for Bhagavad. More time for Bhagavad Gita. And more time for chanting. Okay? Start from tomorrow and promise before Krishna that I will chant every day 2 rounds. Don't go to 30. 30 is too much. Okay? 30 means when you don't have any, when you become retired, at the time you can do 30. Not now. When you are retired and we have to do only cooking, little cooking only you have to do. You don't have any commitments. आपके पास कोई commitments नहीं है. You don't have any grandchildren. Nothing is there. At the time you can do it. Now it's not the time to do 30 rounds. Okay, Mataji? Practically, I am telling. Okay, this is a practical. Okay. Another devotee asked one question. Prabhuji, what is the best way to convince other people to chant? Because irrespective of troubles, we don't see Krishna. What do you mean, Prabhu? Mataji, please tell me again. I'm not able to understand it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, when we see people around us, our office, when they share their troubles and, but they, when we try to convince them, they don't get much enough interest in Krishna Katha or chanting. However, we try, this is my question.
Okay. I understood. Okay. Mataji, what we have to do is, it is not in our hands. Okay. So what we have to do, when we want to convince a living entity, it is not we convince. Okay. Nama Atma Pradipaya Shakshine Paramatmane Namam Giram Vinasaya Manasam Chetasampi. 8th canto, 3rd chapter, 10th verse. So it says, Atma Pradipaya. Atma Pradipaya means the living entity needs to be enlightened by Krishna. Okay? We cannot enlighten anybody. Krishna has to enlighten. Suppose you are telling something, the Paramatma has to agree inside the heart of that living entity and tell, please accept this and adopt it. So that is not in our control. That is not in our control. So that is under the control of Krishna. Okay?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
So
I want
that's
the reference shloka.
8th canto, 3rd chapter, 10th verse. Atma Pradipaya. Yes.
Repeat, Prabhuji, I'm writing. 8th canto.
I have
3rd
put it in the
chapter,
chat
10th
box,
verse.
Mataji. 8310.
So we have to understand, we cannot convince any living entity. Atma Pradipaya. Just go to the word-to-word meaning, Prabhu. One who is self-evident or gives enlightenment to the living entities. So Krishna as a Paramatma. I am speaking so much 1 hour, no? Whatever I speak, it has to go into your brain. It has to go into your mind. Only it is Krishna's discretion. Krishna may decide to accept or not. Suppose if I am not pure, I am contaminated, then Krishna says, no, this is a waste. This fellow is blabbering nonsense. He may be a devotee, but he is talking nonsense. Don't accept it. It will not accept. So it depends on the super soul to accept. And therefore, super soul has to decide when the living entity has to come. So our duty, Mataji, okay, he's not getting enlightened. Our duty is to tell, you are in trouble, please chant Krishna's name. Okay? And then you should tell them, Krishna is not going to remove the miseries. Krishna will give you the power of tolerating your miseries. That's what we have to tell. Suppose they are suffering. Okay? So you have to hear their suffering and tell them, Mataji, Krishna will not going to remove the suffering. That is your karma. But he will give the power of tolerance to tolerate that misery, so that you will become little light-hearted. Krishna is there to give you moral support, so that you become less burdened in your heart. Otherwise, you will be too much thinking about the misery and you will be suffering. So your burden will be reduced by Krishna's protection. Krishna gives protection. That's what we should tell them and try to convince them to chant the holy names. Okay, Mataji? Try in this direction. And what you should do, before you tell, you have to pray intensely to Super Soul. Super Soul of that living entity, please accept and make him a devotee. Please pray to Krishna or Guru. Please, Krishna, some other living entity has to chant. He is suffering. If he chants, he can have the power of tolerance to tolerate the misery. Like that, we should pray. Okay, Mataji? Try in this direction.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Actually, this is only Krishna's willing that I attended your lecture and got my answers. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay. No problem, no problem. Anytime, Mataji. Thank you. Okay, I
Hare
think.
Krishna. So Prabhuji, if we get any free time, so we should do book reading.
Yes, Mataji, Prabhuji. You have to read Bhagavad Gita. You have to read Bhagavatam. You have to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. You have to read Ishopanishad. You have to read Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, all Prabhupada books. Okay, we start reading from other disciple writers, ISKCON writers and all. That's all secondary. Prabhupada book first. First priority, Prabhupada books. And Prabhupada books are very simple to understand. Except Brahma Samhita, which is written by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, all Prabhupada books are very simple and straightforward. Whenever you have time, please read for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Every day, you have to read for 10, 15 minutes. Even half an hour.
Sometimes after office, the head is like, it is completely blocked and it is spinning. So we tend to like watch some cricket match or watch a movie. So
that time also you can read. Krishna will give you relief from you. Okay, you watch for 10, 15 minutes and then come back to Bhagavatam. And then you tell your mind, Tat Buddhayas, Tat Atmanas. Force yourself to read. Because today I told you, the moment we start reading and hearing Krishna Katha, you are in the liberated condition of life. That's what we want, no? We want to remove from the office spinning. Mind is spinning in the office. Office has given you so much of harassment. The living entities harassed you because Subhava Vishamam Janam, they will harass you. That's why the nature of the material world, Bhutair Akramya Manopi, 11.7.37 of Bhagavatam. Bhutair Akramya. Bhutair means living entities. Akramya means they will harass. If they don't harass in the material world, you should be surprised. If you are not harassed by your wife, if you are not harassed by your son, if you are not harassed by your children, if you are not harassed by your boss, if you are not harassed by your father, if you are not harassed by your mother, if you are not harassed by your other living entities, you should be surprised. You are the most fortunate living entity in the world. You will be harassed. If you don't get harassed, you should be surprised. So you should be harassed. You will be harassed by your own living entities, by your own relatives. Forget about other living entities. Harassment will be there. Definitely harassment will be there. So, okay, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, black turn you can see, and then come back. Tat Buddhayas. Oh, this one will give me bondage. This TV and cricket match will give me bondage. This will be nice for the mind relaxation. But this will give me bondage. Let me go to Bhagavatam. Prabhuji told, Tat Buddhayas Tad Atmanas. Go and read that verse. Jnana Ninduta Kalpasha. It clears my mind. So Bhagavatam will clear. Okay? Read Bhagavatam for 5 minutes. One verse. The same verse, whatever you discuss today, you read it. 2.10.6. Read the purport. Oh, reading is so good, huh? Yes, let me read. So every time we go for Bhagavatam, we are getting liberated. That means we are going towards Krishna. Every time you open Bhagavatam, every time you open Bhagavad Gita, every time you chant the holy names, you are going towards Krishna. Our step towards Krishna is increasing. And this is very subtle. We don't know how this is subtle. It's working. It's not that, suppose, you have the child, small child, you give some food for 2 days and then you don't measure the height. You will wait for 5 years, 6 years to get it right. Same way, we may have to wait for some janmas to get the pure devotion service. Doesn't matter, but we are going ahead. So if we have watched 10 minutes of cricket, then at least half an hour we should read. So because cricket match is not going to give you relief from material pangs. Tomorrow, next day, we have to suffer. We don't want this body, no. This body we are suffering, no. We have got hit by our bosses, no. So we want relief from this body. Real relief will come from Bhagavad. Real medicine is Bhagavad. Real medicine is Bhagavad Gita. Real medicine is Chaitanya. Real medicine is nectar of instruction. This will give you power of tolerance. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you for enlightening. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Anybody else? No problem. Stop. Okay.
Thank you for a
8:40.
wonderful session, Prabhuji. So any devotee
9:15. I
has...
extended 15 minutes, no? Sorry. I finished quickly today, no? Correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. This is still okay, Prabhuji. Actually, it's
Okay.
Saturday, na, so we can afford. Weekdays is problem.
Because I prepared only little less and I skipped some of the some more points are there, but I skipped it. Okay, because every time we take and it will take so much time. That's why I stopped. Okay, we'll stop here. Okay,
Sure,
thank you very much, Prabhuji Mataji. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo Ananda Godi Vaishnava ki jai.
Shri Shri Radha Kunti Hari Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Shri
Jai.
Gaur Nitai ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.